It's time for some tech talk, and today we have an exciting one regarding AMD's Fidelity FX SuperResolution, the intelligent upscaling technology from AMD that is supposed to be a competitor to Nvidia's DLSS. Last year, AMD launched FSR 1.0. This was the first iteration of their algorithm which allows games to render at a lower resolution in order to gain performance and then upscale the resolution without sacrificing too much of the image quality. The first iteration had some great results, but in comparison to Nvidia's DLSS 2.1, it just didn't perform on the same level. But let's remember, when Nvidia's DLSS 1.0 launched with its first iteration, it also had its issues, and now AMD has announced that FSR 2.0 will be available in the second quarter of 2022 to all developers, and in today's video we are going to discuss what's the difference in between AMD's FSR 1.0 and 2.0 and how it works. We will have a first look at in-game footage with FSR, and we'll discuss why especially current-gen console owners that have all AMD GPUs built in should be excited for this technology. Hello gamers from around the world, this is Boxenberger, the video game enthusiast from Germany, with my latest video. We have some exciting things to talk about here today with AMD's Fidelity FX SuperResolution 2.0, and before we discuss everything, you should make sure to set your player to full 4K 60 FPS to get the best impression of what FSR 2.0 can do, and while you're at it, it would be awesome of you to consider to hit the little like and subscribe button and maybe even turn on the notification bell to not miss out on future content. Okay, thank you guys, you rock big time, and now let's have a look at FSR 2.0. In a recent blog post, AMD gave some great insight about the upcoming technology, but I want to start with a brief baseline so that everyone has the same understanding as to what this technology is supposed to do. We all play our games on those great 4K screens these days, or at least at 1440p monitors. Hence everyone wants a sharp and precise image quality, which you basically get when the game is rendered at 4K. The thing is, 4K rendering takes up a lot of computational resources, and those resources can be saved to gain better performance if there is a technology that allows an image to render at a lower resolution, let's say for instance 1440p, and then the image is upscaled to native 4K while maintaining the image quality, meaning the image stays sharp, the textures do not get blurry, aliasing is reduced to a bare minimum, and overall the gamer can't tell if the game is rendered at native 4K or if it's an upscaled image. The best technology out there is arguably DLSS 2.1 from Nvidia. Nvidia graphic cards on PC have dedicated silicon called tensor cores to leverage machine learning in order to upscale the image while remaining the image quality with impressive results. The thing is, when Nvidia launched the technology with the iteration 1.0, it was an impressive technology, but it also had a lot of artifacts in the upscaled images, and the overall gain was not where gamers wanted it to be. Since the introduction of DLSS 2.0 and the current iteration 2.1, DLSS is bench on the market, and since AMD's GPUs, especially in the consoles, don't have those dedicated tensor cores, they can't make use of a similar technology. That is one of the main reasons why AMD introduced Fidelity FX SuperResolution last year in order to have an upscaling technology that works without dedicated silicon. AMD's FSR 1.0 was born, and while there was definitely a noticeable performance gain, the upscaling technology had its issues, especially with certain artifacts and flickering edges in images. Nevertheless, a lot of developers have implemented Fidelity FX SuperResolution in their games as of today. According to AMD, more than 90 different developers are supporting FSR, and more than 80 games are released or are coming out soon that will make use of FSR. But now FSR 2.0 is coming, and AMD will release this to all developers in the second quarter of 2022. This latest iteration is promising to eliminate the most concerning issues of FSR 1.0, and they promise an even bigger performance gain thanks to FSR 2.0, which is a temporal upscaling solution with incredible image quality that is the result of many years of research into upscaling technologies. It has been built by AMD from the ground up to deliver similar or better than native image quality and help boost frame rates. But what is FSR 2.0 doing differently than FSR 1? AMD described it like this, and don't worry, we will break it down into understandable words. FSR 2.0 temporal upscaling uses frame color, depth and motion vectors in the rendering pipeline and leverages information from past frames to create very high quality upscaled output. And it also includes optimized high quality anti-aliasing. Spatial upscaling solutions like FSR 1.0 use data from the current frame to create the upscaled output and rely on the separate anti-aliasing incorporated into a game's rendering pipeline. Because of these differences, Fidelity FX SuperResolution 2.0 delivers significantly higher image quality than FSR 1.0 at all quality mode presets and screen resolutions. Okay, let's break that down. One key difference is that FSR 1.0 used to upscale frame by frame. That means that the upscaler took the image, upscaled one particular image, and that was the result. After that, a different algorithm in the rendering pipeline had to make sure of traditional anti-aliasing algorithms to smoothen out edges, etc. Now FSR 2.0 is using motion vectors, which are the key element to predict the motion of a certain object in an image. This is especially key for anti-aliasing methods, and now it's not required separately anymore because it is already implemented in the actual algorithm. They also use frame colors and depth from past frames to get an idea on which pixels are actually moving from frame to frame and how the color changes from frame to frame. This is important not basically for aliasing, but to maintain fine geometry and texture detail. And this is also a significant improvement over FSR 1.0, because here we have seen that the upscale textures tend to get blurry, and AMD promises now to deliver similar or better than native image quality and help boost frame rates in supported games. Okay, but let's put this to the test. They have been working with Arcane on the game Deathloop, which is already out on PlayStation and PC and is rumored to also come out on Xbox this fall, as the first game that officially will support FSR 2.0. First, let's have a comparison of some screenshots that they shared. There are basically two different modes for FSR 2.0, the quality mode and the performance mode. Let's have a look at the quality mode first, where we can see an image, and it's definitely hard to tell the difference between the native 4K resolution with ray tracing and FSR 2.0, while there is definitely an improvement over FSR 1.0. The quality mode has a better image quality over the performance mode of FSR 2.0, but the performance benefits are a bit less. In the performance mode, the frames per second that are gained are even bigger, but of course the image quality isn't on par with FSR 2.0 in quality mode. But the results are still very impressive, and I would dare to say that most gamers wouldn't notice the difference in motion. And speaking of motion, AMD has also provided a first glimpse into actual in-game footage, which looks really impressive. If we have a look here at the quality mode setting, it is really hard to distinguish the native 4K rendering and the image that was upscaled with FSR 2.0. And if you compare FSR 2.0 to FSR 1.0, you can clearly see the benefit, especially when you look at the texture details and sharp edges in the image. That has definitely less aliasing, and less artifacts in between two objects are also very visible. Very impressive stuff, and I would have loved for AMD to actually tell us the performance gain, but still, it is an impressive technology. Now let's have a look at the performance mode. Here we can definitely tell a difference in between a native 4K render image and the upscaled image. For instance, when you look here at this round thingy or at the texture quality of the stone wall. However, the image still looks very good, and when you compare it to FSR 1.0 in performance mode, this is a night and day difference. And I think this is the important thing here to take away. FSR 2.0 is a big step in the right direction over 1.0. Now, why is this such an important thing, especially for console gamers? Nvidia has shown on the PC side of things that having dedicated silicon, aka the tensor cores, can result in very impressive upscaling technologies, and that it's really not necessary if you use machine learning properly to have a computational resources wasted for native 4K rendering. And those who follow my channel know that I've been saying it many times that native 4K rendering is a waste of computational resources. And if you look now on the console side of things, yes, the RDNA 2 architecture supports machine learning, but AMD chips do not have dedicated tensor cores, and it remains yet to be seen how the FP16 capabilities of the RDNA 2 architecture can be used for machine machine learning, but it is really impressive that AMD has developed FSR 2.0 without leveraging machine learning. That means this technology can now be used not just in all of the current gen consoles, but also across a wide range of PCs and other devices. And especially console gamers can be excited that there is now a technology out there that allows current gen games to use more of the very capable console hardware for things like more consistent frame rates, better simulation of physics, better AI, better particle or lighting effects, and so on. Xbox Series S owners are probably also very happy to hear that, because this will allow them to play more games at higher resolutions like 1440p. And also Xbox Series X or PS5 owners will be very happy to hear this, because we have seen in recent games that sometimes the performance mode that runs the games at 60 FPS can take a deep hit in resolution. Dying Light 2 or Guardians of the Galaxy come to mind, where the games ran at 1080p 60 FPS. Granted, these games have not been developed with the current gen hardware in mind, but it's still great that there is a technology now out there that will allow to save computational resources if the developer chooses to do so. But with that, I already want to wrap it up. Of course, there are a lot of open questions, and we can judge the actual capabilities of FSR 2.0 better when we have games in our hands. It remains to be seen how well, for instance, FSR 2.0 will work together with other current gen features like variable rate shading, where different pixels are combined into blocks in order to prioritize certain pixel areas in a game. It also remains to be seen how well it will work together with sampler feedback streaming, or how this can be implemented in a complete new rendering pipeline that will leverage mesh shaders. So yeah, there are open questions, but this has been a fantastic announcement. The technology is not too far away. It will be available in Q2 2022 for all developers. Deathloop will get an upgrade with FSR 2.0 by then, and other games will follow. The first insight that AMD gave is very promising, and even if FSR 2.0 won't be able to match DLSS with its dedicated tensor cores, it is still a fantastic technology to have, and I can't wait to see where this technology will take graphics and performance in the future. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. And if you want to support the channel even further, you can now become a channel member and get early access to all my videos and custom-made badges and emojis. And if you want to have even more gaming discussions, I highly recommend to check out my podcast called The World of Gaming here on this YouTube channel, which airs every Thursday 8 PM Central Europe time, 2 PM Eastern or 7 PM UK time. This is a podcast from and with the community discussing all the things that the world of gaming has to offer, including games, news and technology. And let me thank everyone who supports this channel in any kind of way. You guys are awesome and make this channel to what it is. And now let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about AMD's FSR 2.0? Are you excited to see what it will do to performance and graphics in gaming? And besides here on YouTube, you can also hit me up on Twitter, where I share a lot of opinions and gaming discussions. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I see you the next time, and game on!